Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. And recently there have been a ton of NBA trade rumors, but today I'm just going to be assessing them and discussing the likelihood or unlikelihood, I guess, of these trades or free agency signings happening. So the first rumor I saw was the Los Angeles Lakers trading for Bradley Beal and or Chris Paul. Now, in my opinion, this is just Laker fans being Laker fans because this is not happening. If the Lakers tried to trade for Chris Paul and traded every single player on their roster except for Anthony Davis, they would still not be able to match the contract of Chris Paul, which is known as the first or second worst contract in the entire NBA. And he's set to make $41 million in the 2020-2021 season. The Lakers just can't take in Chris Paul. And as far as Bradley Beal goes, I don't think that's going to happen either because, once again, the Lakers can match it up, but just barely. And then they're not going to have they're going to need to fill up guys in their roster. And the cap space really doesn't work with Bradley Beal making $27 million. And it doesn't make sense for the Wizards either because they could get a lot more value. I mean, obviously the John Wall, Bradley Beal thing isn't working. But, Bradley Beal does not want to leave. So it's not that, they should trade him or he is demanding a trade. It's just that, he doesn't want to leave. Makes sense for him to... Well, it doesn't make sense for him to stay with the Wizards, but he wants to stay with the Wizards. And until he demands a trade, I don't see him leaving. But, a lot of teams could be interested in Bradley Beal, but I don't think the Lakers need it. I think the Lakers should just run it back again. I don't know if Rajon Rondo and KCP are going to return, both being free agents, so who knows if they stay or not. So those two people coming to the Lakers, very unlikely. Now, the next thing is the Houston Rockets. I discussed this in another video, but, I think they should trade James Harden. There have been rumors of him being traded to the Philadelphia 76ers, which makes sense for both sides, but how the trade goes down doesn't really make sense. And one team's going to be at a loss and the other's going to, have a really good duo to pair. Let's say the Rockets try to trade James Harden. They trade him to, let's say, the Philadelphia 76ers, because that's probably the team with the most assets and the most likelihood of him going to. I don't see any other team being able to present a better offer for James Harden than the Philadelphia 76ers. But it would be a superstar swap, and then, you need to work in a few other players to match up the contracts. But in hindsight, it's basically Harden for Embiid or Harden for Simmons. Now, for the Rockets, they're going to want Harden for Embiid because they want the duo of Westbrook and Embiid. But the Philadelphia 76ers want to trade Ben Simmons because they want the duo of Harden and Embiid. So, because the Rockets don't want Simmons and Westbrook. Those are two players that play a similar game. Not to say that Russell Westbrook's a great three-point shooter, but he's certainly better than Ben Simmons. And the Philadelphia 76ers don't want the duo of Simmons and Harden because that really just doesn't work with James Harden's play style. So I don't know. I see some sort of trade happening, but how the trade actually happens, I don't know. And now another rumor I saw was Chris Paul and Carmelo Anthony to the New York Knicks. Now, this could happen, and I could actually see this happen, but Carmelo Anthony only opens up the possibility to returning to New York only if Chris Paul gets traded there. Now, this makes sense for the Blazers because having Carmelo Anthony on their roster just doesn't fit in with the play style. They need, they're one CJ McCollum or Damian Lillard caliber player away from making a serious contention to the NBA Finals. But Carmelo Anthony is not that guy, and I think he should be traded. He's a free agent this year anyway, so there's a chance that he could come to New York. Who knows? I mean, it makes sense for the Knicks and the Thunder for them to trade Chris Paul because Chris Paul does not fit in with the system in OKC. Not to say that they had a bad season because they overperformed, exceeded expectations by a mile. But I think it was good to have Chris Paul there for one season. It helped with the development of SGA. But no, I don't think that he fits in with the Thunder system. So I think now that they've had one season with Chris Paul, I think it's time to trade him. Plus, the contract is just too bad. And the Knicks are a team that would do anything to get their hands on a superstar. Plenty of cap space. I mean, they've been trying to. I mean, last year they cleared up all this cap space to try to get the number one pick with Zion and pair him with two Supermax deals with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. And then they didn't offer Kevin Durant the Supermax. I don't know why. And then they ended up with no one. So, that's just how it went. But maybe they could get Chris Paul and Carmelo. I could see that happening. And another trade rumor is Derrick Rose possibly going to the LA Lakers. Now, this makes a lot of sense. I think I would really love to see Derrick Rose grab a ring before his career ends. I mean, he's done so much and, got injured too many times and had such an up and down career. It'd be good to see him finish off his career with a championship because I don't think he's going to play to the age of 40 given his injury history. I mean, he's already 30, 31 years old. I'm not exactly sure. But I think that it would be nice to see him get a ring. Kyle Kuzma, it didn't work with the Lakers last year. I mean, though they won a championship, Kyle Kuzma was not the ideal third option. And it was really, it should be all LeBron and AD, but they need a little help. And your third member of a, so-called big three, it's not even a big three, it's just your third option on a championship team. When that player is averaging 10 points a game in the playoffs and severely underperforming, airballing shots like this, he and Danny Green were not good this year, and I'm surprised they won it. I mean, once it came, I don't know. If they had played the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals with Kuzma playing like that, I sincerely believe that the Clippers would have won that series and probably went on to win the championship because, and not to discredit the Miami Heat, but that's not what you expect in a championship team. They did very well, but they're just, they were very undermatched against the Lakers, and I'm surprised they took them to 6 games, but they would not have beat the Clippers. But I think Kyle Kuzma needs to go. Swapping Kyle Kuzma and Derrick Rose makes sense for the Lakers because I think, they need a true point guard, especially with Rondo in free agency. He'll probably leave. He said he wanted to leave, test the market. So we'll have to see what happens, but that makes sense for the Lakers. And the Pistons, too. I think it's time to get rid of the Derrick Rose and Blake Griffin. I think Blake Griffin needs to be traded, but there really haven't been any rumors about that. And then lastly, I want to finish off the video with discussing the possibilities for Giannis. There are a lot of teams that he could go to, and most of the rumors, they won't happen, but I don't see the Bucks trading Giannis, even though, if they don't, they are going to bank on the fact if they don't trade Giannis this year, that they will at least make the NBA Finals. And honestly, I don't know if that'll happen. I think, they played as well as they could have in the regular season for the past 2 years. This year the Miami Heat, I don't know. They lost to the Miami Heat, which they shouldn't have lost to. They were the number 1 team in the entire NBA, and they lost to a 5 seed. No discredit to the Heat, but, I think we all know what I mean here. The Heat are not as good as the Bucks, and they shouldn't have made it to the NBA Finals. I mean, no discredit, but I mean, if Giannis doesn't sign a contract extension, I don't really know where he's going to go. He could go to Dallas. I mean, Dallas has been, creating the ideal roster and cap space to sign Giannis in 2021. I could see him going there. It would be a great pairing with Luka. It would be an intriguing destination for Giannis. I think the Mavericks are just one step away from serious contention, and I could see him going there. People who said he's going to go to the Lakers, I mean, once again, Laker fans being Laker fans. I mean, that he's not going to the Lakers. Once again, there's no way that he would sign with the Lakers. They seriously can't unless they get rid of AD or LeBron, which they're not going to do. So, no. I think Giannis is not going to be with the Lakers. I don't see him going to the Warriors. I don't know why people made up that rumor. I mean, just because Kevin Durant went there does not mean that Giannis will go there. It's not a good destination for Giannis. I think that's just, I don't know, because the Warriors are just like if you go there, you will win. But I do think the Warriors will seriously be the number one struggle for the Lakers to make it back to the finals, but we'll have to see what happens. Giannis could go to the Heat. I could see that. I mean, there were rumors before the playoffs started, and especially now that the Heat have had so much success. I could definitely see it happening, but I'm going to wrap it up for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below if there are any rumors I missed. Comment where you think Giannis will go either this year or next year. And don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next video.